Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Resolve. In the last episode, we kind of established that Barak is not necessarily the killer of Inspector Gregson. We don't know for sure yet, but we are about to see two red-headed witnesses. And without further ado, let's just jump into the episode. It's the 2nd November at 12:33 p.m. at the Old Bailey and the defendant's antechamber.
Oh, there you are, Edo!
What kept you, my dear fellow?
Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Gina?
You sure about what you said in there? That the boss, actually died the day before? It's pretty hard to swallow. Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina.
As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you.
It's not a competition, Mr. Sholmes. But I was more shocked than all of you put together.
This is the autopsy report in question, is it?
Yes, it's strange that there's no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission.
Oh dear, if it was deliberate. It puts me in mind of the last case we worked on. Dr. Scythe.
I know. Anyway, it seems that on the day before Lord Van Zieks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the red-headed leak, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, you had trouble with those leak men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick.
No. Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth hound interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income.
And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose.
The two criminals in question are the pair we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? And Mr. Sholmes' suite, I mean. That's right, Suze. And it was me what took him in. Thanks to tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen.
Indeed, yours truly.
So it's going to be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the red-headed leak yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them?
Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hounded interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income.
Don't tar with the same brush as you, Sholmes.
Yes, well... And there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zieks for some reason.
The Reaper, the Red-Haired League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zieks.
And Kazuma. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow.
Gosh, I think you're right.
What's he really trying to achieve here today?
All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over shortly.
Yes, you're right. Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial. And he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Are you ready then, Mr. Sato?
Yes!
Oh, we didn't talk to Barak, unfortunately, but I guess that's okay because we will get into things quicker. 2nd November, 1 p.m., the Old Bailey courtroom.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Barak Van Zieks, here present who stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Arsene.
My lord?
Have you summoned the witnesses as requested?
Yes, the two members of the Red-Headed League who planned on carrying out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage.
Very good. Bailiff, usher the two men into the courtroom.
These two men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. You may omit your occupations, but state your names now for the court.
I am Fabien de Rousseau, a descendant of the great Rousseau family from Nice, en France. And my name is Peppino de Rossi. I am the third son of the great family de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli.
The two men first became acquainted at boarding school for European nobility.
Those who graduate from TGAAC are the future leaders of Europe. But do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with the noble blood? Alors, I make it my mission to get the better of the world by employing the little grey cells of my brain. Brain.
Okay, I have to catch the French accent somehow.
That is all I'm trying to do.
So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out?
Oui, you could say that.
Not bad, eh? He has the grand ideals, but the petty plans. These strange combinations are the charm of the hilarious brothers. See, capo?
Listen to me, Peppino. I have two things to say to you.
Che, are you about to tell me one of your grandi anecdotes? Evviva!
Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this capo. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business.
Gebello, there it is, the capo's trump card, the furrow, the bro. It is a deep, capo, the furrow, and the meaning of your words.
The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is this true?
Oui, c'est ça.
And what exactly was the nature of this deception by which you planned to defraud?
Alors, I will explain it.
No, capo, leave it to me. As you see, we both have the vivid red hair, no? At school, we were teased for this without pity. The capo here, he was many times behind the schoolhouse, crying like the Trevi fountain. Where's those dogs 1 day ago respect us redheads? Every night, he would bury his head in his pillow.
C'est bien, Peppino. Enough. I will explain the rest. The first step was the newspaper advertisement. About 1 week before the plan was put into operation, we listed the same notice in every paper in London.
Yes, we saw that notice. It was this one, I believe, entitled To the Red-Headed League.
Oui, c'est ça. I am honored that you have seen it.
It states that the only condition for joining the league is having flame-colored hair, and that if you satisfy the interview panel and are admitted into the league, you could receive a weekly income of £4. On the date specified, red-headed hopeful gathered in droves at parks specified in that advertisement, and from each person present, this pair took an application fee of 5 shillings.
And with the money, to France. It was a plan most elegant, no?
No, it was most dishonorable. But to be frank, I'm stunned anybody was foolish enough to be taken in by such an obvious trick.
The park was described by one witness as choked with red-headed folk like a coster's orange barrel.
And the day on which all these men gathered to apply was the day before the victim was discovered. Crucially, these two men spoke face to face with every single person present at that day.
Oui, I have seen more red-headed people in 1 day than I will see in the rest of my life.
See, and now every time I see the capo's hair, I feel to sick to my stomach.
Anyway, why have you been summoned here today?
Sorry?
The date for our trial was not until tomorrow, I was told.
Naturally, neither of these men have been told any details about this trial. They've only been shown this photograph.
Very good. So, Mr. de Rousseau, Mr. de Rossi, you will now give your formal testimony for the court on the subject of the gentleman pictured in this photograph.
Of course, we are always ready to help with the law. Witness testimony. The man in the photograph. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assembled in the park on Lime Street that day. But I don't recall the man in this photograph. Capo? No, I don't remember him. Obviously, he is dead now. But I assure you, he was not in the park. Allora, this victim has nothing to do with us. You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place. That is a very strange testimony. You've given sworn testimony that this man in the photograph was not present. Can you be certain? Oui, I am quite certain. We did not interview this man. Nobody looking like this came to the park. This I can promise.
It must be noted that you have been arrested for a grand deception, however. Accordingly, this court has little confidence in your assurance.
Uffa, with this attitude, we got nowhere, huh?
He's really sulking now.
This confidential document was obtained directly from Scotland Yard. It records an entry from the inspector's private diary dated the day before the incident. It reads, Lime Street, Red-Headed League, undercover.
Ah, I have the answer. Maybe there was another similar event in the park on the day in question, aye?
That is ridiculous. There's no question that Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, which means it's quite possible that's when he was killed.
Very well, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination now.
Yes, my lord. Oh, that is going to be one strange cross-examination, guys. One very, very, very strange cross-examination. So let's get into it. The man in the photograph. We had more than 1,000 red-headed people assembled in the park on Lime Street that day.
Hold it!
1,000 people, that's a very big crowd. It was quite a spectacle. Redheads had come from all over the capital.
See, the capo here, he has the magnetismo animale, aye? Nobody else could attract so many people. If I could be born again, I would be the capo.
All those people wanted was the money, Peppino, the £4 per week.
Are you suggesting that you spoke personally with all 1,000 applicants?
Oui, that we did, because every one of them paid us 5 shillings.
We take their names and we take their money and we take their addresses as well. Then I'll tell them we take some days to let them know by a post. E finito. Maybe 2 minuti a person. We start early in the morning and we stop late in the night.
So, you earned 5,000 shillings in one day. That's a small fortune.
Would have thought there were 1,000 such gullible redheads in London to start with.
One of whom was a great detective with chemically altered hair.
But I don't recall the man in this photograph, aye, capo?
Hold it!
I mean, let's just keep going. He doesn't look at all familiar.
No, I don't think so. This is a big guy. He was trying to trick us. I do not like the people who are trying to trick the other people,
says the con artist.
If between them they interviewed 1,000 people with red hair, it would be unreasonable to expect them to remember every face.
No, signore, I may be small, but my memory is very large. I never forget a thing. In my opinion, I do not think this man was in the park.
But he's not going to give the court a definite, it seems. Hey, capo, you didn't see a man like this, huh? No, no, I don't remember him, and obviously, he is dead now, but I assure you, he was not in the park.
Hold it!
But according to what you've said, you spoke with 1,000 or more people that day. Oui, that's true. My eyes were burning by the end of the day. Surely then, you can't actually remember every single face. How are you so certain that this particular man wasn't present? Normally, the red hair is very distinctive, aye? But not when you have 1,000 redheads crowding around. Then it is just an eyesore. Oh man, okay. But if there was some other information you could give us, maybe then we would recall. That is not the line, Peppino. Remember, we do not remember him. We are sure of that fact, huh? If there was a man with a red hairpiece, but his mustache did not match the color, then I do not think I could have forgotten him. Customer said these two had only been shown that photograph and they had been told nothing else at all. But what if I fed them just one other detail about the victim, for example? Oh, his fish and chips, maybe? I mean... his name, that won't do any... Although, the Italian De Rossi said he remembers names. He has a very large memory. His profession, he wouldn't have said that he is an investigator. And his fish and chips might sound stupid. Maybe it's his fish and chips, actually. I really don't know. It's definitely not his Oh no, I clicked. Oh, guys, sorry for screaming. Oh, I'm so stupid. Whatever. Okay, I can certainly appreciate that just knowing the man had red hair wouldn't help you remember in this situation. But what if I told you that the man in the red hairpiece was actually a detective? The man in the photograph, a detective? Yes. It would appear he found your notice in the paper suspicious and decided to investigate incognito. Sorry, but this changes nothing? What? Okay, of course we're gonna pursue here.
Excuse me.
Something to add, Mr. De Rossi? Jesse, I am always adding something. Parmesan, olive oil, pepper. What I mean is, did you not agree with your friend's last remark by any chance? What did he just say? About the detective? Yes, that. Keep your mouth shut, Peppino. You have said enough already. But why, capo? What is the problem? There was a man who said, I am an inspector from Scotland Yard. What? Good lord. Oh, that was actually correct? His profession was actually correct? Okay, guys, I got really lucky there, I have to say, because I was going with his name. I would have gone with his name because he said he had such good memory. De Rossi, which is... Doesn't matter. Okay, now we're here. I got really lucky there. We just lucked our way into this, and that's okay. We'll take it.
Order, order, order. Explain this volte-face in your testimony, witness.
It's simple. A man who was at the park said us... There was no such man. But what are you saying, capo? Have you forgotten, I have forgotten nothing. Nobody like this came to the park. Basta, capo, basta. You beat me at many things, but not to the memory and the meals. Like I said, when our time is to eat at pasta, no one is as faster. But you are inferior to me in every other way. So shut up.
Objection.
Oh, The damage is done.
Indeed it is, sir.
Oui, there was a man who came to the park and he said he was an inspector from Scotland Yard. However, he looked nothing like the man in the photograph. He was someone else. How can you be so sure? Because to start with, his face was completely different. See, is it true? Is it true? The man who came was younger. His face was clean shaven, his eyes were sadder, his chin was thinner.
No resemblance whatsoever then.
Anyway, I was not going to be fooled. I took the obvious precaution and said to him, if you are really a detective, show us the proof. See, the capo here, he doesn't take a nonsense, eh? But he was well prepared. He said he had identification. Identification? You mean official police inspector's identification?
That is most unconvincing.
Yeah.
Sorry, my lord. Counsel, no incognito inspector would offer his identification for inspection. It's quite out of the question.
Definitely. Why would he expose his true identity? Clearly, the papers were fake.
Certo, capo, you are a genius. As we say in Italia, it takes a thief to recognize another, right?
And what happened after he announced that he was a detective? He became very annoying. He said, you are under investigation. So I took his papers from him and chased him out of the park.
It was fantastico! And look, here is the identification.
So you stole it from the man?
He had it coming. He made us very scared. But he was not who he said he was.
Indeed, the person described does not appear to have behaved as a true inspector would. However, I believe it would be prudent for these identification papers to be entered into evidence.
But I like them.
The inspector's identification has been entered into the court record. The identification of a man claiming to be a detective inspector, confiscated by Mr. de Rousseau and Mr. de Rossi.
Now, let us return to the witness's testimony.
We will have a look at those for sure, and we will do that immediately. Metropolitan Police warrant card, huh? So let's open up here. I guess there's nothing else of interest on here. Nope. Nothing of interest here. So let's just open them. Well, I suppose we should see what this inspector's identification looks like inside. Uh-huh. Okay, let's have a read. Yes, it definitely looks fake, doesn't it? Out of interest, what name is given? Probably just something plucked out of the air. It's Tobias Gregson. Wait, what? The Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me. But how? And the department identification number details are all correct as well. Since when have you known those? Do you mean to say? I know it seems incredible, but yes, I think this is a genuine identification book issued by Scotland Yard. But that's unbelievable. This is the real thing after all. The details of the inspector's identification have been updated. Inspector Gregson's police identification is the official warrant card issued to him by Scotland Yard. Oh, that is... Okay, that is... Nope, nothing. I can't find anything out of place. Okay, I just clicked. Okay.
Allora, the victim is nothing to do with us.
Yeah, we're gonna press though.
Hold it!
But we only have your we only have your word for that.
See, but what else can we do, huh?
True.
Oof, we are not having much fun these days. First we are arrested, then we are shown the horrible picture of a dead man. And now you question every single thing we say. We are the victims here. I capo?
No, you were caught carrying out a plot to swindle hundreds of innocent people.
You have to bring that up, it's not fair. Aye, capo.
You have a lot to answer for, Peppino. It is your fault that we got caught in the first place.
Hold it!
What do you mean by that?
Cavallo. Cavolo, you promised not to say aye, capo.
After we had taken all the money that day, we should have left the country. That was my plan. I left the purchasing of the tickets for the ferry to Dunkirk to my companion here. But he bought them for the wrong day. Oops.
See, but it's an easy mistake to make, huh? The 31st.
But I've no sympathy for you. We were on an all day late for the boat because of your stupidity. And it's only because of this that the so-called great red-headed detective caught us.
Capo, you know what I think? This is the work of God. It's a holy punishment, aye.
Peppino, for the last time. This is not holy punishment. This is only your fault.
Ah,
Don't blame God for your unholy mistake. You are making me sick with anger.
Maybe I make a mistake, but when it's time to eat the pasta, no one is faster.
And I've seen the evidence. They haven't told us much we didn't already know.
What do you think, Mr. Naruto?
Well, if it was in the inspector's diary, it seems likely that he must have gone to Lion Street that day. And yet, these two both claim that they didn't see him.
I have to say, they don't appear to be telling lies.
Well, they are experts in deception, don't forget. Sounding plausible is their specialty. They may be lying simply to avoid being implicated in this case as well.
Surely if they were truly expert in deception, they wouldn't have been caught.
Well, yes, you do have a point there. It seems to me like we need more information.
Definitely.
Okay, we had more than 1,000 red-headed people assembled in the park on Lime Street that day. But I don't recall the man in this photograph. Aye, Capo? No, I don't remember him, and hopefully he's dead now, but I'm sure he was not in the park. So are we supposed to present the identification card here? Are we supposed to do that? Or is it just Laura, nothing to do with us? But it would be. I don't remember. He's dead now. He was not in the park. He has nothing to do with us, but you just gave us this.
Objection!
Okay, it does make sense. I wonder if I could ask you to examine this identification book very closely. Miss Lestrade. Why, Miss Lestrade? What is your intention here, Counsel? Is this really a fake or is it genuine? That's the question, which we can't answer ourselves.
Objection!
Don't be ridiculous. No Scotland Yard detective would allow his or her identification to be stolen.
But, that is the boss's, no question about it.
It can't be. As I suspected. The undercover detective who attended the Red-Headed League's enrollment on the day in question was the real Inspector Gregson, carrying out an incognito investigation.
Zut alors!
Oh, order!
But if the boss and his identification stolen, he would have reported it straight away. I mean, he was always on at me about it. If you lose something, report it at once, say.
Could it be then that the inspector was physically unable to report it?
Physically? Aye, what are you saying?
Unable to You're not suggesting? Yes, it's quite possible that he was killed before he had the chance to report his identification stolen. No. Order! The defense posits that the victim was killed the day before his body was discovered at a different location. Do you two have anything to say about that?
I know nothing. I don't know nothing.
Pull yourself together, Rapino. Mon Dieu, you can behave a little more like a master criminal than that, no?
Now I wish I had returned to Italia.
Stop crying, Peppino, please.
Otherwise, I... Lemmy, stop your whining and we start talking.
Well, I believe the court will need to hear your story in considerable greater detail.
I know nothing. Don't know nothing.
But you will tell everything, or face the worst possible outcome.
You will dry your eyes and testify again about these identification papers and the precise circumstances under which you came by them.
For crying out loud. Witness testimony. The detective and the identification. But guys, we have reached the half-hour mark. So, if you want to see these two foreigners cry out their heart, you will have to tune in next time for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Resolve. See you then.